Hi everyone, welcome to Divine Sacred Tarot. Welcome to this channel. Today is a very special message from the Divine Masculine and also the Divine Feminine. So the first message that I've received from the Divine Feminine is Saradava Devi, the Divine Mother. Unconditional love exists within me. The presence of love is the absence of judgment. So, a little bit of background. Sri Sara Devi embodies the feminine power that initiates seekers onto a spiritual path through unconditional love. Now, even though we're getting a message from Sara Devi, this is heavily supported by the Divine Masculine. So, the Divine Masculines need you to know these very important messages. Sara Devi was born in Jayrambati, India, 1853 to poor Brahmin parents. As a little girl, she worshipped a clay figurine of the goddess Kali, meditated, and began to have visions. At the age of 5, she was betrothed to the priest of the Kali temple, a beloved mystic called Ramakrishna. 10 years later, she joined him at the temple and they began their lifelong spiritual marriage together. So, this is an emphasis about how the divine feminine has been tapping into the God within, around, and the divine masculine is in that pure figure of Godhead, that this is the marriage between the both of them so they can achieve their mission together. So this is your North Star, if you will. And Ramakrishna formed a Shodashi puja with her, and this meant that Sarada was positioned in the seat of the goddess of Kali and addressed as Sri Ma, or Holy Mother. Now, Sarada is considered to be Ramakrishna's first disciple, and they both become notable mystics with large international followings. So, this is a very specific message to say you and your divine masculine are going to have a very large influence to the community around you and the community of twin flames. So because Sarada and Ramakrishna were both beloved, it was founded of a monastic order founded by Sarada. And as a guru, she was known to treat her disciples as her children. She appeared as a goddess in human form and gave them a mantra. So when they met for a first time, they would recall the dream and know instantly they were encountering their guru. Dreams are a very specific, important time for the divine feminines at this time. If you are a divine feminine listening to this reading, if you are a divine masculine listening to this reading, remember we embody both divine masculines and feminines. You may have been having dreams about your divine masculine. Pay attention to them. And you may not need to understand the reason why that specific dream or that specific message has come about. But this is just to say, be aware of it, take note of it, and something will be clarified during now and obviously the eclipse. So, the whole point of this card is to emphasize for the divine feminines on behalf of the divine masculines, love all your disciples unconditionally and equally. In a teaching through Sarada Devi, should I say, she encourages her devotees to understand that everyone we meet is actually a part of us, is connected to us. And if we want to experience true peace, we need to own the fault and judgment that we project onto others. We need to see our own faults and forgive them with love. So no one is a stranger. This whole world is your own. So if something keeps showing up in the people we meet and the relationships we're cultivating, Sarada is asking us to meet them from within us. So, what are the things that you are seeing in your divine masculines that are reflecting back to you? Personally, me and my divine masculines reflect the fear of rejection and abandonment. I was very, very hesitant to get into a connection when we first met, and I slowly softened to that idea. But what I realized was we were mirroring one another. I didn't know what twin flames were at that time. became apparent years later for me. And so basically, this is just saying that when you're seeing your divine masculine in a certain state or within your dream state, what messages is that coming in for you? Because it's something that needs to be awakened and addressed so you can come into that harmony of divine masculine and feminine within. And then that will obviously project into the physical plane. You are destined for union in this lifetime. So things are going to get heated up. And the aspects of this other person, it could be your divine masculine, it could be your feminine, it could be your mother, father, children, whatever they're reflecting to you, if it's causing any pain or frustration or just plain aversion, those same aspects exist within us. So unless we're willing to really meet with those aspects within us, the universe will keep presenting them to us in all of our relationships. So it's I love this card because I've never read it before, but it's really interesting to say the divine, the universe, is 11:11 as I'm recording this, is saying we're not presenting things over and over to you to piss you off. It's to free you. It's so through this deep, unconditional love for ourselves, we can heal. And the goal is for us to love ourselves fiercely from within. Put yourself in situations where you love yourself first and foremost, unconditionally, not in a superficial way, but unconditional love for as you are right here and now. And the goal for us to love ourselves, to let our mother ourselves, to expand the unconditional love. And that only love will quieten those harsh, critical voices within. So if we can stop wasting time mirroring judgment of others or ourselves, we can then get on with being perfectly imperfect in the light that we are. So I absolutely love that message from the divine masculines towards the divine feminines. And then the second message actually leads to the sexual energy being sacred and heating up. So let me just go through the goddess of magic. Isis is actually here to emphasize that there is a raised sexual energy that you are being presented with. So a few readings ago, I might have mentioned, I'm not sure if I did, excuse me, there is throat chakra activation for the divine feminines. Divine masculines are mirroring this, but they're going to be in different ways. So you can be completely opposite. So if you're feeling quiet, divine feminines, your divine masculine may be chatty. If you're feeling chatty, your divine masculine could be quiet, or it could be mirroring one another, but in the similar sense. So you could both be a little bit more pronounced in your conversations with your friends and families. But what I'm seeing is there has been an increase level of sexual energy for both the divine masculines and feminines. And again, it is mirroring, but it also is, if one is abstaining from sex, the other person is feeling a little bit frisky and promiscuous. But there was a reading in particular, which I might have said, I'm not sure if I did, that the divine masculines are thinking of you sexually. So when you as a divine feminine have got through that sexual acknowledgement, awareness, consciousness that you are feeling a sexual pull towards your divine masculine, you can do whatever you want with that energy. But this is a real big word of advice towards your pathway, because when you've got this sexual energy and it's laying within your root chakra, your sacral chakra, is a big emphasis for you to channel that energy up to your pineal gland, up to your higher chakra, and that is going to help you use this energy and this prayer to bring you back to life. So Isis is, for those of you who don't know, let me just read you a brief description. Isis embodies the pure magic of devoted love. Let me just repeat that. Isis embodies the pure magic of devoted love. Isis is an Egyptian goddess of love. She's a goddess of fertility, of resurrection, and magic. And her temples lined the Nile Delta in the Upper Egypt from the 4th century BCE to the 4th century CE. And with the closing of the temple in Philae, the priests and priestesses who served her were known for their miraculous healing powers. Now, some of you may already be tapping into either Reiki or, going into therapy, supporting others, supporting yourself. So this is a very big sign for those of you who are already in that field. So Isis is the daughter of Geb, god of earth, and Nut, goddess of sky. So as above, so below. She married her brother Osiris. When he was murdered, his body parts were scattered all over the earth, and Isis searched tirelessly to remember him and then used her sexual energy to bring him back to life. Now, there is an important message here, because both of the soul, well, one soul has been torn apart as a twin flame to be present in two physical bodies in the earth plane. When your soul has been ripped apart, when you're in this human body, in this current reality, you both are trying to search tirelessly to find parts of each other. And when you do come into contact with one another, obviously sometimes it triggers the both of you, because you see versions of yourself in your divine masculines that probably still needed to heal, still needed to come up and be consciously aware of who you are and the versions of you, where you wanted to go with the version of you and how you wanted to present that. So each time you're trying to come together, you're kind of in this push-pull energy. It's like the magnets are kind of opposing one another. But when you're in this internal unconditional love, when you acknowledge yourself as whole and not torn apart by your souls, you then get to be magnetized to one another. And this is the power of surrender. So just to go back to Isis and the origin of it. So Osiris's death and rebirth were and are celebrated annually. Isis gave birth to their son, Horus, and became worshipped as the ideal wife and mother. Her association with magic originates with the sun god Ra. Isis created the first snake in order for it to bite Ra. In his pain and near death, he gave her his secret name so she could revive him. So Isis then became more powerful than Ra and possessed the magic to heal and prolong life, to give life back to the dead. So the reason that this card has come up for the divine masculine and feminine energies is to amplify the message that the sexual energy that creates life can also be used to sustain it. And it's really significant that Isis brings Osiris back to life by making love to him. This is where, when you two are together and when you are making love with one another, it feels as if you are in heaven. It feels as if your souls have merged into one. You're both present, you're both engaging, and it feels as if time has stopped. And that is the metaphor, and it's 171 as I'm reading this, so this is twin flame union emphasis. That metaphor is that by uniting life, death, body, soul, divine masculine, feminine, heaven, earth, rebirth or resurrection occurs. So you've been split apart, and this is the time to come together. This is such a powerful card, and I'm so glad that Spirit has emphasized this message today, because what we're seeing is the sexual energy that sex inspires exists within each of us all the time, latent, waiting to be utilized to create more life. So even if you're not physically intimate with your divine masculine, it is permeating, it is cultivating, it is being nurtured. It is like food being prepared in a slow cooker. And when you taste that food, it's going to bring you magic. It's going to bring you that satisfaction that you so longed for. So celibacy is quite important when it comes to divine masculine and feminine. Obviously, take these messages as they resonate. This isn't a channel to preach anything. You are your own person. You get to live the life that you want and make choices on that alignment. But this is just saying that if you are abstaining from sexual activity and you know deep in your heart you're going to come into union with your divine masculine, if this is your person, if they're not toxic and they're not manipulative and hurting you physically or mentally, like this is your person. If you know this, then you know that this latent sexual energy that you've got can be channeled all the way up to the pineal gland and really expand your creativity towards what you need to emphasize in this lifetime. And this is just saying that we neglect our sexual energy. The power is often feared because, if you came from a religious background, a lot of times they say, well, you shouldn't masturbate, you shouldn't do this, and you shouldn't touch yourself, and you shouldn't do that. Then if you were to have sex, it has to be with the one you love and you're married to. So there was a lot of misconceptions within society. And whatever your background, there's no judgment here, because what we just had Sarada say there's no judgment on ourselves or there's no judgment on others. So these two cards really do balance out for this emphasis on this divine masculine's message to you, divine feminines, and vice versa. That when we neglect our power, our sexual energy, when we're not acknowledging it, we're discarding the power of its magic. And then what we're doing is we're not allowing that sacred life force to be integrated fully. So it basically says that you don't actually need your divine masculine to activate this, but you have to be this sense of consciousness, this awareness that it does exist. When you are remembering of your heart to your head, your body to your soul, this is the activating energy of your root chakra uniting with the crown chakra just above our head. So this is where I was saying you're trying to ignite that energy from the base chakras all the way up to the higher chakras when I said that earlier. And Isis is a call for us to allow our sexuality, our sexual energy to infuse and enhance all we say and do. So she is a sacred reminder that sex is holy, that what makes it holy isn't marriage or a certain combination of male sex, male, female, masculine, feminine. Sex is made sacred through presence, through our capacity to become fully embodied. So it is emphasizing what I'd said earlier. And this is a really, really special time to step into this element of unconditional love for yourself, and then add that emphasis into the sexual energy that you've got going on. And that's going to amplify everything you're doing right now. And that's going to help you continue to empower yourselves, channel that energy to the higher purpose of why you're here. So I'm going to leave the messages right there. If you're not already a member, join the channel because you get these messages in real time. I record these messages a few days in advance. So if you are really resonant with tarot and you want to understand what energies are happening right at this second, hit this join button on the membership. If you are a Hierophant, you get all these videos in advance, and you get the pre-recorded videos that are only accessible to members. And if you hit the Magician level, you get to have a one-to-one with me and the community every month. So that is pretty invaluable because I answer any questions and probably pull out some cards at that time. So hit me up if you want a personal reading at divinesacredtarot at gmail.com. The email is in the description box. And I'm sending you so much love. Have an amazing day. I'll speak with you soon.